As for example, we'll talk about the bounds of a real zero. So upper and lower bound zeros. Simply put, upper bound and lower bound is, if the upper bound is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or higher will not be a zero. If the lower bound is -2, -2.5, -3, -4 won't be a zero. And so this section here, this example talks about, I'll talk about how do I figure it out, and what values do I choose? How do I, what values should I choose for my upper and lower bound? And why do I care? So I'll start with the why do I care sense. We have this polynomial here. F of x equals 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 28 minus 12. And we use the possible rational zeros theorem to work it out, right? Possible rational zeros say we look at the constant, which is minus 12, and the coefficient, which is 2. And then we will consider all the factors of both. So minus 12 is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6, and finally plus or minus 12. And 2, get plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. And the PRZs are constants over the lead coefficients. So we take every one of these over here and divide by plus 1 and then divide by plus 2. So doing that, plus 1 divided by 1 is 1, plus 2 divided by 1 is 1, plus 3, 4, and 5, and 6 all divided by 1 of this. So we already know I get plus or minus, minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4, plus or minus 6, plus or minus 12. And now we're going to look at, well, what do I divide 1 by 2? Well, 1 by 2 gives you plus or minus 1/2. 2 into 2 is 1. I already have that. 2 into 3 is 3/2. Plus or minus 3 over 2. And then 2 goes into 4 twice. I have 2. 2 divided by, or 6 divided by 2 is 3. We already have it here. 12 divided by 2 is 6. We already have that. So here we are. These right here are all the possible zeros. We look at it. Each plus or minus gives you 2. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 possibles. Zeros. Well, how am I going to reduce that down to less than 16? One way to do that is look at the upper and lower bounds of zeros, of real zeros. So things to make note of. Basically, you guys could choose a number, choose a positive number, do synthetic division with it, and when you get done, if your answer with synthetic division are all positive numbers, so no negatives, then that is the upper bound. And if a lower number, you're going to choose probably a negative. It doesn't have to be negative, but I would start with negatives. Choose a negative number, and if all the signs of your answer with synthetic division flip back and forth, between plus and minus, it's going to be a lower bound. And note here, in the green highlight, 0 can be either a positive or negative number, depending on what you need it to be. So, synthetic division, right? Note your values. You have 2, minus 7, minus 28, and minus 12. So, 2, 2, minus 7, minus 28, minus 12. And let's make a note here, what we're going to do. Upper bound. Now it is possible for upper bound to be a negative number. Your highest number could be minus 5 or minus 2. We're going to assume that's probably going to pause it and try it out. You can choose any value you want. You know, if you want to kind of use your PRZs to guide you down here, you can choose some of these. Does your upper bound have to be one of these values? No. Suggestions are choose a small number. A small number. Could I start with plus 12? Yes. But if you do plus 12 and that's not it, then you either got to go higher or you got to go. You can't go. If it's not higher than 12, then you have to go lower. So the goal is to choose a value that will reduce the number of possible zeros. So I might try 2. So let's move over here and do a 2. Upper bound. 2. Bring down a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 7 plus 4 is minus 3. And if you look right here, we can stop. Right? Upper bounds have no negative numbers in the answer. This negative right here tells us we're done. So let's try 3 or 4. So I'm not going to, if you try 2, doesn't work. If you try 3, 3 doesn't work. So I'll make notes here. Just for time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh goodness. Are not upper bounds. Now I did this all on paper, but you know, so save time in video. I'm not gonna do it all here. So I have 2 minus 7 minus 28, no comma, minus 12. Bring down the 2. 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Minus 7 plus 12 is 5. 5 times 6 is 30. That's a terrible 33 there. Minus 28 plus 30 is 2. 2 times 6 is positive 12, which is a 0. Are there any negative signs here? Plus 2, plus 5, plus 2, and 0, for the purpose of this situation, could be either positive or negative, so this could be positive. So 6 is an upper bound. This should be notch right there. So it cuts out the plus 12. It's not as great, but it's one less thing we have to check. Now we go over here and do lower bounds. And remember, it's 2 minus 7 minus 28 and minus 12. And for lower bounds, you can choose any number you want, really. But we're looking at our possible rational zeros are these, right? So let's try some negatives. I would ignore the fractions just because I don't want to deal with fractions. So if I want to try minus 3 halves, I'd probably just do minus 2 because it'd be easier on my brain. Upper bound or lower bound does not have to equal an actual possible 0. It just says you can be any bigger or lower, right? For example, in terms of upper bounds, if you jump, the ceiling is the upper bound in a room. If you're jumping in a building, you jump up. You can't jump any higher than the ceiling. It doesn't matter if you can't reach the ceiling is still an upper bound for you, right? Some people can reach the ceiling, that's their upper bound. Some people can't reach the ceiling, they're still, the only height they can go is up to the ceiling. So, since plus or minus 1, again, aren't very hard, I'm going to start with minus 2. Again, right, before we go to minus 2, for lower bounds, right, for lower bound right here, actually I just covered everything if I want to cover. For the lower bound, you can alternate signs. You go plus, minus, plus, minus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So let's go over here. And try out, say, minus 2. Bring down the 2. 2 times minus 2, minus 4. That's a minus 11. So far, so good, right? I got positive and I got a negative. Minus 11 times minus 2 up here is positive 22, which gives you negative 6. All right, now it's plus 2 minus 11 minus 6. These are not alternating, so we don't care. So -2. And it turns out -3 also is not a lower bound. We'll go ahead and skip to the one it is, just to make the video a little faster. So let's test -4 and see if it's right. Two -7 -28 -12. Two down. -2 down is -8. But -2 down -4 is -8. Add those together, you get -15. So positive and negative so far, so good. So good. -15 times -4 is a plus 60. -28 plus 60 is positive 32. So I got plus, minus, plus, so good, far so good. Here we go. 32 times -4 is a negative number. That's going to be 128. Add those together, so it's -140. And look at that. Plus, minus, plus, minus. So -4 is a lower bound. So let's go back way over here. Our upper bound was 6. Our lower bound -4. I wrote that right? Yep. The scale was some different. So what's that mean? It means I can throw away some of these possibilities. So my PRZ now, anything bigger than 6 I can throw away, and anything smaller than -4. So look at that. +1, so that is, we are between -4, our interval here is closed interval from -4 to 6. Anything outside of those, so any number outside that on the number line, we're going to get rid of. So we keep ±1, ±2, ±3. We're going to keep plus or -4. -6 is outside, is lower than -4, so I don't care. So I just want +6. I don't want +12. I don't want -12. And then plus or minus 1/2 still in there. 3/2 plus or minus is still there. So look at this. How many possibilities do I have now? All right, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. That's 8. 2 here and 2 here makes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And that 6 makes 13 PRZs. So it didn't cut down by a lot, but it cut it down by something.